Question 1. In a project, the document that formally authorizes the existence of a project and provides the project manager with the authority to apply organizational resources to project activities is known as the A. Project Management Plan. B. Business Case. C. Project Charter. D. Scope Statement. Answer: C. Project Charter. The project charter is a crucial document because it officially starts the project and gives the project manager the power to use company resources for it. It's like the project's birth certificate and the project manager's official appointment letter rolled into one, outlining high-level objectives and initial requirements. For instance, a company starting a new software development project would create a charter to formally approve the project and appoint a project manager. This document is essential because without it, a project lacks official sanction and a project manager lacks the formal authority needed to lead. Always remember, the project charter is what truly kickstarts a project and empowers its leader. Question 2. Which of the following best describes the primary purpose of a sprint retrospective in an Agile project? A. To review the product increment with stakeholders and gather feedback. B. To plan the work that will be performed in the upcoming sprint. C. To inspect the past sprint and identify ways to improve the process for future sprints. D. To refine the product backlog and ensure items are well understood. Answer: C. To inspect the past sprint and identify ways to improve the process for future sprints. The sprint retrospective is a key Agile ceremony focused on continuous improvement, where the team reflects on the previous sprint's processes, tools, and interactions. Its main purpose is to identify what went well, what could be improved, and how to implement those improvements in subsequent sprints, ensuring the team consistently enhances its efficiency and collaboration. For example, a development team might realize that daily stand-ups are running too long and decide to set a strict time box in the next sprint. This dedicated time for reflection helps the team adapt and optimize their working methods, making them more effective over time. Always consider the retrospective as your team's chance to learn and grow together. Question 3. During which project management process group is the project management plan developed? A. Initiating. B. Planning. C. Executing. D. Monitoring and controlling. Answer: B. Planning. The project management plan is the comprehensive document that defines how the project will be executed, monitored, controlled, and closed, and it is meticulously created during the planning process group. This involves detailing scope, schedule, cost, quality, resources, communications, risk, procurement, and stakeholder management plans. For instance, before building a house, you'd create detailed blueprints and a construction schedule. This is analogous to developing the project management plan. It serves as the single source of truth for all project work, guiding the team's efforts and ensuring alignment. Remember, thorough planning is the cornerstone of successful project execution, providing clarity and direction. Question 4. A new project manager is trying to understand the factors within an organization that can influence a project's success. These factors, which are internal or external to the organization and can positively or negatively influence the project, are known as A. Organizational Process Assets, OPAs. B. Enterprise Environmental Factors, EEFs. C. Project Management Information System, PMIS. D. Work Performance Data. Answer: B. Enterprise Environmental Factors, EEFs. Enterprise Environmental Factors, EEFs, are conditions, not under the direct control of the project team, that influence, constrain, or direct the project. These can be internal, like an organization's culture or infrastructure, or external, such as government regulations or market conditions. For example, a new environmental law, external EEF, could impact a construction project's design, or a company's outdated software systems, internal EEF, might slow down a technology project. Understanding EEFs is crucial because they represent the environment in which your project operates, and you must consider them when making project decisions. Always scan your environment for these influencing factors to anticipate challenges and opportunities. Question 5. Which of the following is a primary characteristic of a predictive, waterfall, life cycle in project management? A. High degree of change is welcomed throughout the project. B. Requirements are generally fixed and defined early in the project. C. Projects are delivered in small, iterative increments. D. Stakeholder engagement is continuous and highly interactive. Answer: B. Requirements are generally fixed and defined early in the project. A predictive, or waterfall, life cycle is characterized by a sequential approach where requirements are defined as comprehensively as possible at the project's beginning before design and development begin. This methodology assumes that project requirements are stable and unlikely to change significantly, allowing for a detailed plan to be established up front. For instance, building a traditional bridge often follows a predictive approach because the design and specifications must be finalized before construction can commence. This approach is best suited for projects with well-understood deliverables and stable environments. Remember, fixed requirements early on are a hallmark of a predictive project. Question 6. What is the main purpose of a work breakdown structure, WBS? A. To graphically display the sequence of project activities. B. To organize and define the total scope of the project. C. To show the reporting relationships within the project team. D. To track project costs and budget variances. Answer: B. To organize and define the total scope of the project. The work breakdown structure, WBS, is a hierarchical decomposition of the total scope of work to be carried out by the project team to accomplish project objectives and create the required deliverables. It breaks down the project work into smaller, more manageable components, ensuring that every piece of work needed for the project is identified and accounted for. For example, building a house might be broken down into foundation, framing, plumbing, and electrical, then further into smaller tasks. The WBS is fundamental because it provides a clear, structured view of all deliverables, helping to prevent scope creep and ensuring nothing is missed. Think of the WBS as your project's complete table of contents, detailing everything you need to deliver. Question 7. A project manager is reviewing a deliverable that has just been completed. Before it can be handed over to the customer, it must undergo a formal inspection to ensure it meets the specified quality requirements. This process is known as A. Validate scope. B. Control quality. C. Perform integrated change control. D. Monitor communications. Answer: B. Control quality. Control quality is the process of monitoring and recording results of executing the quality activities to assess performance and recommend necessary changes. This process involves inspecting deliverables to ensure they meet the quality standards specified in the quality management plan. For instance, a software company might run rigorous tests on a new application to confirm it functions correctly and meets all performance criteria before release. The goal is to verify that deliverables are correct and conform to requirements, preventing defects from reaching the customer. Always remember that control quality focuses on the correctness of the deliverables themselves. Question 8. In an Agile context, who is primarily responsible for managing the product backlog and ensuring its maximum value? A. The Scrum Master. B. The development team. C. The project manager. D. The product owner. Answer: D. The product owner. In an Agile framework, particularly Scrum, the product owner is the sole person responsible for managing the product backlog, including its content, ordering, and availability. Their key responsibility is to maximize the value of the product resulting from the work of the development team. For example, a product owner for an e-commerce website would prioritize features like a secure checkout system over minor design tweaks if the former offers greater immediate business value. The product owner acts as the bridge between the stakeholders and the development team, ensuring the team builds the right product. Always think of the product owner as the voice of the customer and the ultimate decision maker for the product's direction. Question 9. What is the purpose of a change request in project management? A. To formally close the project or a project phase. B. To update the project schedule with actual progress. C. To formally propose a modification to any document, deliverable, or baseline. D. To gather requirements from stakeholders at the beginning of a project. Answer: C. To formally propose a modification to any document, deliverable, or baseline. A change request is a formal proposal to modify any document, deliverable, or baseline within a project. These requests are crucial for managing changes in a structured way, ensuring that all proposed alterations are reviewed, approved, or rejected before implementation. For example, if during a construction project, the client decides they want a larger window than originally planned, this would necessitate a formal change request. This process prevents uncontrolled scope creep and maintains project integrity by ensuring all changes are documented and their impacts assessed. Remember, any deviation from the approved plan should go through a formal change request process. Question 10. A project manager is determining the resources needed for each activity on the project schedule. This process is part of which project management process group? A. Initiating. B. Planning. C. Executing. D. Closing. Answer: B. Planning. Determining the resources needed for each activity, including human resources, equipment, and materials, is a critical part of the planning process group. This involves estimating activity resources, which feeds into developing the activity cost estimates and the overall project schedule. For instance, planning a software project would involve identifying the number of developers, testers, and servers required. Accurate resource planning ensures that the project has the necessary elements to proceed efficiently and effectively. Remember that careful resource planning upfront prevents delays and cost overruns later in the project. Question 11. Which of the following best describes the role of organizational process assets, OPAs? A. Environmental factors that influence the project. B. Tools and techniques used to perform project activities. C. Plans, processes, procedures, and knowledge bases specific to the performing organization. D. Formal and informal agreements with external entities. Answer: C. Plans, processes, procedures, and knowledge bases specific to the performing organization. Organizational process assets, OPAs, are internal assets, such as plans, processes, policies, procedures, and knowledge bases, that can influence the success of a project. They are part of the organizational culture and infrastructure and are often used as inputs to various project management processes. For example, a company's historical project data on similar projects, including lessons learned, or its standardized templates for risk management, are all OPAs. These assets are invaluable because they provide established best practices and historical information, helping project teams leverage past experiences and streamline current efforts. Always think of OPAs as your organization's collective wisdom and resources that you can tap into for project success. Question 12. What is the primary output of the Develop Project Charter process? A. Project Management Plan. B. Project Charter. C. Stakeholder Register. D. Scope Baseline. Answer: B. Project Charter. The Develop Project Charter process is precisely where the project charter is created, serving as its direct and primary output. This document formally establishes the project, outlines its high-level objectives, and grants the project manager the authority to begin using organizational resources. For example, when launching a new product line, the official document that kicks off the initiative and empowers the team would be this charter. It is the foundational document that formally acknowledges the project's existence and provides initial direction. Always remember that the name of the process often directly indicates its primary output, especially for foundational documents like the project charter. Question 13. Which project management knowledge area primarily focuses on identifying, analyzing, and responding to project risks? A. Project Communications Management. B. Project Quality Management. C. Project Risk Management. D. Project Procurement Management. Answer: C. Project Risk Management. Project risk management is the knowledge area dedicated to conducting risk management planning, identification, analysis, response planning, and controlling risk on a project. Its goal is to increase the probability and impact of positive events while decreasing the probability and impact of negative events to optimize project success. For example, identifying potential supply chain disruptions and planning alternative suppliers is a key activity in risk management. This proactive approach helps the project team anticipate and prepare for uncertainties, reducing surprises and improving project outcomes. Always prioritize identifying and planning for risks. It's about being prepared, not just reacting. Question 14. What is a key characteristic of an adaptive, agile, life cycle? A. Detailed upfront planning for all phases. B. Requirements are elaborated progressively throughout the project. C. Changes are discouraged once the baseline is established. D. Single, comprehensive delivery at the end of the project. Answer: B. Requirements are elaborated progressively throughout the project. In an adaptive or agile life cycle, requirements are not fully defined at the beginning but are progressively elaborated and refined throughout the project's iterations or sprints. This iterative approach allows for flexibility and responsiveness to changing needs and stakeholder feedback. For instance, when developing a mobile app using Agile, initial requirements might cover basic features, and then more detailed features are defined and built in subsequent short cycles as user feedback is gathered. This progressive elaboration allows for continuous adaptation and ensures the final product effectively meets evolving needs. Always remember that Agile embraces change and refines requirements as it goes, rather than fixing them up front. Question 15. The process of monitoring the status of the project to update the project schedule and manage changes to the schedule baseline is known as A. Create WBS. B. Develop schedule. C. Sequence activities. D. Control schedule. Answer: D. Control schedule. Control schedule is the process of monitoring the status of project activities to update project progress and manage changes to the schedule baseline. This involves comparing actual progress to the planned schedule, identifying variances, and taking corrective actions when necessary. For example, if a construction phase is running behind schedule, the project manager uses control schedule to determine why and implement measures like adding more resources or adjusting work sequences to get back on track. This ongoing oversight is critical to keeping the project on time and ensuring deliverables are met within the agreed-upon timeframe. Always actively control your schedule to stay on track and deliver projects successfully. Question 16. Which document outlines how a project's scope will be defined, validated, and controlled? A. Requirements Management Plan. B. Scope Management Plan. C. WBS Dictionary. D. Project Scope Statement. Answer: B. Scope Management Plan. The Scope Management Plan is a subsidiary plan of the Project Management Plan that describes how the project scope will be defined, developed, monitored, controlled, and verified. It does not define the actual scope itself but rather the process for managing it. For instance, it might specify who is responsible for approving changes to the scope and how those changes will be documented. This plan is crucial because it sets the ground rules for managing project boundaries, helping to prevent uncontrolled scope creep. Always remember that the Scope Management Plan tells you how you will manage scope, not what the scope is. Question 17. The process of identifying the project's stakeholders, analyzing their interests, influence, and impact, and documenting them is called A. Plan stakeholder engagement. B. Manage stakeholder engagement. C. Identify stakeholders. D. Monitor stakeholder engagement. Answer: C. Identify stakeholders. Identify stakeholders is the process of identifying all people or organizations impacted by the project, and documenting relevant information regarding their interests, involvement, and impact on project success. This is a foundational step because understanding who your stakeholders are and what their interests are is crucial for effective communication and engagement. For example, before starting a new park development, identifying local residents, environmental groups, and city officials as stakeholders would be part of this process. Properly identifying stakeholders ensures that all relevant parties are considered throughout the project lifecycle. Always make sure you know who your stakeholders are before you try to engage with them. Question 18. What is the primary purpose of the close project or phase process? A. To monitor progress and ensure deliverables are meeting requirements. B. To formally complete all activities across all process groups to formally close the project or a project phase. C. To determine the resources needed to complete project activities. D. To get formal acceptance of the deliverables from the customer. Answer: B. To formally complete all activities across all process groups to formally close the project or a project phase. The close project or phase process is the final process group in project management, where all activities are brought to a formal conclusion. This involves obtaining final acceptance of the product, service, or result, archiving project documents, releasing team resources, and conducting lessons learned. For instance, after a software deployment, this process includes getting the client's final sign-off, moving project files to a permanent archive, and holding a meeting to discuss what went well and what could be improved. Successfully closing a project ensures that all loose ends are tied up, and valuable knowledge is captured for future projects. Never skip the closing phase, it's essential for formal completion and organizational learning. Question 19. A team is working on a project using an Agile methodology. They hold a short, daily meeting where each team member shares what they did yesterday, what they will do today, and any impediments they are facing. This meeting is known as A. Sprint Review. B. Sprint Retrospective. C. Daily Scrum, Daily Stand-Up. D. Sprint Planning. Answer: C. Daily Scrum, Daily Stand-Up. The Daily Scrum, often called a Daily Stand-Up, is a brief, time-boxed event, typically 15 minutes, held every day for the development team to synchronize activities and create a plan for the next 24 hours. Each team member answers 3 questions. What did I do yesterday that helped the development team meet the sprint goal? What will I do today to help the development team meet the sprint goal? Are there any impediments preventing me or the development team from meeting the sprint goal? This meeting ensures transparency, identifies blockers quickly, and promotes team self-organization. It's a quick daily check-in to keep everyone aligned and moving forward efficiently. Question 20. Which of the following is a key input to the Develop Project Charter process? A. Project Management Plan. B. Business Case. C. Work Performance Data. D. Change Requests. Answer: B. Business Case. The business case is a crucial input to the Develop Project Charter process because it provides the necessary business information from a business needs perspective to determine if a project is worthwhile. It describes the necessary information from a business standpoint to justify the project, including the business need, cost-benefit analysis, and expected benefits. For example, if a company wants to build a new factory, the business case would detail the market demand, projected revenue, and required investment. The project charter then leverages this justification to formally authorize the project, ensuring it aligns with organizational goals. Think of the business case as the why behind the project, which then leads to its formal authorization. Question 21. Which knowledge area focuses on the processes required to purchase or acquire products, services, or results needed from outside the project team? A. Project resource management. B. Project risk management. C. Project procurement management. D. Project cost management. Answer: C. Project procurement management. Project procurement management includes the processes necessary to purchase or acquire products, services, or results needed from outside the project team. This involves managing contracts, purchase orders, and agreements with external vendors or suppliers. For instance, if a construction project needs a specialized crane, the procurement management processes would cover identifying potential suppliers, sending out bids, selecting a vendor, and managing the contract. This area is essential for projects that rely on external resources, ensuring timely and cost-effective acquisition of necessary goods and services. Always remember that procurement is all about acquiring what you need from outside your organization. Question 22. What is the primary purpose of the Project Management Information System, PMIS? A. To manage human resources on the project team. B. To collect, integrate, and disseminate project management processes. C. To control project costs and schedule variances. D. To identify and analyze project risks. Answer: B. To collect, integrate, and disseminate project management processes. A project management information system, PMIS, is an information system used to collect, integrate, and disseminate project management processes, including tools like scheduling software, configuration management systems, and information collection and distribution systems. It helps the project manager and team manage project data, produce reports, and communicate effectively. For example, using project management software like Jira or Microsoft Project to track tasks, deadlines, and team assignments would be leveraging a PMIS. This system provides a structured way to manage project information and workflows, improving efficiency and decision-making. Think of the PMIS as your central hub for all project-related data and communication. Question 23. In an Agile project, who is primarily responsible for ensuring the team understands the product backlog items to the level needed? A. The Scrum Master. B. The development team. C. The project manager. D. The product owner. Answer: D. The product owner. While the development team is responsible for understanding the work, the product owner is primarily accountable for ensuring that the product backlog items are clearly expressed and understood to the level needed by the development team. This often involves detailed discussions and clarification sessions. For instance, if a new feature request is vague, the product owner works with the team to refine it until everyone understands what needs to be built. The product owner ensures that the what is clear so the team can focus on the how. It's the product owner's role to bridge the gap between stakeholder needs and the development team's understanding. Question 24. A project manager is performing quantitative risk analysis. What is the main objective of this process? A. To prioritize risks for further analysis or action. B. To analyze the effect of identified risks on overall project objectives numerically. C. To develop options and actions to enhance opportunities and reduce threats. D. To monitor identified risks and residual risks. Answer: B. To analyze the effect of identified risks on overall project objectives numerically. Quantitative risk analysis is the process of numerically analyzing the effect of identified risks on overall project objectives. This involves using techniques like Monte Carlo simulations or decision tree analysis to quantify the probability and impact of risks on project cost and schedule objectives. For example, a quantitative analysis might predict a 75% probability of completing a project within budget and a 25% chance of exceeding it by a certain amount. This provides a more objective and detailed understanding of potential risks, allowing for better informed decision-making. It helps you understand the magnitude of potential risk impacts on your project. Question 25. Which of the following best describes the purpose of a project kickoff meeting? A. To formally close the project and gather lessons learned. B. To get final approval from the customer for project deliverables. C. To announce the start of the project, establish common understanding, and inspire the team. D. To review the project budget and reallocate funds as needed. Answer: C. To announce the start of the project, establish common understanding, and inspire the team. The project kickoff meeting is typically held at the beginning of a project or phase to formally announce its start, ensure all key stakeholders understand the project objectives, and get the team aligned and motivated. It's an opportunity to clarify roles, discuss communication plans, and build team cohesion. For instance, for a new marketing campaign, the kickoff meeting would introduce the campaign goals, key messages, and timelines to all involved departments. This meeting sets the tone for the project, ensuring everyone is on the same page and enthusiastic about the work ahead. Always use the kickoff to create a shared vision and energize your team from the very start.